How's it going, guys? There's about an hour and 10 minutes left in the Ritual Gauntlet event put on by Zizarin and Shopify. I was watching SteelMage's stream and he went through all of the rip clips that are available on the website. And since I wasn't able to stream the event, none of my rip clips are on there. And I just wanted to give my perspective on the event after having participated in it and kind of give uh, reflection on how I did in the event. I didn't live quite up to the expectations I had. As this league, I spent like a month of the league practicing for the gauntlet, and I probably should have done more in-game practicing rather than leveling practicing. But I did fairly well. I did a lot of Atziri practice, which paid off in the end. As I was, let's see here, the PoE racing site, searched by my character name. Here are the 4 characters that I ripped. There was a 5th one. I was leveling another Ascendant. But this is my first character, Blind Exalt Slammer. On this character, I was the first raider to kill Atziri, which, like I said, I practiced a lot of Atziri on this raider, and I'm really happy I was able to take that home. Although my clip of it, like I was so like nervous and shaky at the end of that clip. I didn't really pop off or anything. But being able to lock in this $150 is pretty huge for me. So the plan was like I was trying to push for a top ranger. So after I killed Atziri on this character, like, and this character still exists, so like it. And going back through my gear is kind of bad. Like, what is this amulet? Um, I wound up dying on this character very shortly after my Atziri kill. What happened was I was fighting Drox because my strategy after doing Atziri, it's like, okay, the next thing I wanted to do was I wanted to farm for this bounty to wear a complete set of replica armor and jewelry. So I wasn't going to push the Atlas. I wasn't going to I was just going to slowly grind. And I'm super comfortable on this Raider build doing heists. Like, I'm not scared of heists at all, even with gauntlet mods. I'm totally fine. So my initial plan was to immediately rush Lyra Arthane, and I only ran like 6 or 7 maps. I did it at Ziri before I even did a map. I did like 6 or 7 maps, and then I used my Cartographer's Delights I got from farming my 6-link bow to get a lighthouse map. Here, that's what this looks like. Get a lighthouse map that's only tier 5 in this region, so that I could proc influence in this region. And also unlock Zaina to be able to get Zaina missions and stuff early on. I really like to push that first T5 as early as I can. I'm having the 6-link with the bow, like, it's really easy to like do these maps because you're already with a level 19 gem almost always after farming a bow in a fresh league. I practice farming that bow a lot. And I also knew that like I was rank 1 ranger when like I was up to like 13 overall during that process, but people had started pushing into maps before I reached like level 78 to get the bow. But since I had done so much practice, I knew that farming the rituals in the zone was bait. If you wanted the div cards, you needed to bypass the rituals, just farm the blue mobs, break the pots, and that's the quickest way to get the bow. So after that, like, well, this character doesn't have dash. Let me swap to a different character here. Actually, let me go to that character if it's still. Oh, I guess I deleted that character. Let's go to this one. So I had completely pretty much finished the Baron fight, And what had happened, like I was up in like this corner, edge corner. You can see it on the mini map, but Baron was like right here behind me, and he was like so close to being dead. I thought he was going to die, but he started pulling up for the slam, and which was gonna probably hit me in this corner. So I tried to dash downward, but I was holding left click, and my mouse likes to like double click sometimes. So when I dashed, I animation canceled, or maybe I dashed into the wall like this, and I got stuck like right here, and then I got hit by that slam in one shot on my first character. So I got the Atziri kill, and I was looking pretty good, but that's how the first one went down. So after that, and let me just get on this one. We bring this back. Show my other character here. So my second character here is the one that made it to level 89. This character, I did exactly what my plan was. So I had to farm a second bow, which I was okay with. I took my time. I wasn't trying to rush as much, but I knew I still wanted to like push for the blueprints. And since I renamed this character the same as the next character, once this one died, like you can't see the gear on this character. The big thing that hurt when I lost this character was I was leveling in Empower in my offhand, which would have been really, really nice to have, but that ended up failing. And actually, let me go back to the login here. I want to go back to this character so I can pull my Alice back up. So what I did was I pushed down here, I got the Baron killed, and then I did the other four corners and I had like 20 T5 maps at this point because I farmed so much foothills. So every 3 of the Cartographer's Delight, you get another card, another T5 map. So it's really easy to get these because they're all going to be in the corners. There's no T5s down here. Well, I mean, I guess there's like one Watchstone T5, Desert Spring, I think, Chateau. I think those are both base T5 maps. But it's fairly easy to get like the Atoll Plateau, you can get the Shrine, you can get a Waste Pool, Armory, and Cells for this region. So it was really easy to knock those out. And since a day had passed, I'd gotten a freeze animation from the daily. So I was able to like get a few of these. The next thing I needed to do was I needed to get Maven in this region and get these. And with the Watchstones that I had, I put one Watchstone in here. Let me take this one. I put one Watchstone here, I put 2 Watchstones here, and then the other one just sat out. So I was just farming these yellow maps for like the entirety of that character. It was the first character I got to take an attempt at level 21 gems, and I didn't get any on this character. I didn't get any on the next character. I never got a 21 gem this league, so that was kind of sad, because that's what really allows you to really push with Caustic Arrow. So yeah, I just farmed this region with, I did the 2 Mavens so that I could get these Smuggler's Caches have a 10% chance to drop blueprints. And I was just going to spam these until I got enough blueprints to go do the heist to get the replicas. So I wound up getting 4 of them. I farmed that zone for 2 straight days in total. The first day this character died, I leveled the next one. I got a Carcass Shack. But I only wound up getting 4 in the end. After farming that zone for 2 days on 2 separate characters, and I still needed gloves, I needed a second ring, and I needed a helmet. I actually did some research before the gauntlet started. I knew that rings amulet, and chest were the hardest things to get. So I knew that going in, so I was looking for those. I wasn't going to just take a weapon on my first one or something. I wanted to get that bounty. So what ended up happening, I've only dropped 4 laboratory or prohibited library blueprints. And then I've ran a couple of these other blueprints as well, but I've found so many of these other blueprints. So it was really just kind of unlucky. And after the second day, no one had done it yet. I ended up going to bed, and about an hour and a half after I went to sleep, that bounty was claimed by Zlage. So that sucked to miss out on. And at this point, I had, and go back. I keep changing this. I want to see my characters here. So my second character, like I thought I was going to be done. I only had 2 cards after this rip. This rip was to a metamorph in a T8 courthouse map at level 89. It spit out these cyclone things that had multi-proj, so it just like immediately right when it popped unleashed all these cyclones on me. And I didn't have enough dodge on this character to survive that. So, like, I couldn't log in time. It was just, like, instant. Like, I didn't get one shot. I took several hits, but it was very, very quick death. So, I didn't want to farm another bow. Like, I didn't know if I had enough time to do that and still get the thing. So, while I was in Act 1... I decided, okay, well, let me see if I can link this carcass jack that I had. So I 6-socketed it, I linked it, it 5-linked it. I'm like, okay, I have a 5-link. Like, I can get away with farming maps with the 5-link. I could just run, like, T3 to 5 maps and still be able to farm the blueprints since I already had the Maven and whatnot. So, and then, like, halfway through Act 1, I was like, you know what? I have a level 2 bow saved from 4. Let me see if I can link that. Then I'll just take the level 2, like even if I can just 5-link it, and I 6-linked it. I 6-linked this bow in Act 1, and I'm just like, okay. This is good. So then I just had a level I could just jump straight back into maps. I already had level 20 gems. So right when I hit level 70, I could throw the level 20 gems in, and we were good. So I just went right back into farming, and then, yeah, like I said, eventually lost out on that. So this character, after I had done that, I pushed a little bit Atlas-wise. See my mouse double-clicked right there? Like, I tried to drag this, and it dropped it, and I'm, like, highlighting stuff on my other screen. It's really annoying. So I pushed some Atlas. This is the state of my Atlas when I decided, okay, I'm going to then... I wanted to farm legions. So I got this region set up, and I had enough watchstones that I could make this the only region to drop 3 to 5 maps. So I put 2 watchstones in all of the middle ones, and 1 watchstone in all the outsides, like this. So the only white maps that were dropping were down in here, because these are going to be T8 maps on these. Otherwise, I'd get T4 maps right here. That would take the place of my dunes and deserts. I didn't want that, so I had enough watchstones to safely farm down here. And this character died in a shrine, T5 shrine map. I rolled them all very nice. And I did a ritual with piety on it. Piety turned into ice form and 2-shot me. And like I got hit by like consecutive hits, being like cap dodge. Like, come on, I need to drag this. So yeah, this character got 2-shot. Like I had a spell dodge boots. These 2-tone boots dropped. I had the spell damage enchant on, or spell dodge enchant. I was using the carcass jack, and the AoE was insane for clear. Like, it felt so free farming a T3 to 5 maps. The legions just fell over. So yeah, his piety decided to end that run. And after that, like, I didn't know what to do. Sesterix was at 123 points. The only thing he had not done at this point was Uber Atziri, I think. So the Raider race was pretty much over, and I watched Sesterix. I watched Havoc going over Sesterix boss kills. His mechanics were just so on spot. Like, thinking about my own mechanics, like, I'm a good player in that game, but like, he looked flawless in the fights. It was amazing. I was just like, I even if I made it to that point, I wasn't. My fights were gonna look nowhere near that crisp and clean. So after that, I took like a day off, and then I later saw this. I was looking at the Scion. I was like, maybe I can just re-roll the Scion. I needed 2 more cards. I had 20 cards since I was farming dunes and deserts for legions. I only need 2 cards for another 6-link bow. So I'm just fine. Like, fine. I will. And this one's not snapshotted, so now I guess, like, well, before I jump over and look at that character, that character is the closest I've got to completing my build. So I wasn't really thinking about pushing this too much anymore. I just wanted to like try and grind out the fusings to try and go for another bounty. The one Rise set up to first to fail a 6-link item. So I was just like banking fusings, trying to farm up to 2,500 to see if I could get that bounty. And that's when I died on the Scion. I also wanted to take a shot at getting the highest armor value or Ritual Tribute. I had watched Cute Dog's YouTube video about using the Ritual Vessels, and I was going to do this in T1 arcade maps with sextants. Like, I was going to put all the watchstones in here, throw the best sextants I could on, do T1 arcades with a single delirium orb on them, and I was going to capture the boss. Like, whatever spawned on the boss, and I was going to capture like the double boss 4 times, and then put them all in on another T1 arcade map. But I found out pretty quickly that I don't know that I had the damage to really touch a 4-way Legion encounter. The 3-way I did that ended up dropping me the jewel, which I'll show you now. Let's see. Is there anything else I need to go over in here? Just ripped all my fusings that, like, I could have gone again. I tried to go again. I tried to roll a 5th character and died with all my leveling gear to titty bitches on the way to Piety in Act 3. And I was just done. At that point, I slept for the next 2 days. Until I woke up and started watching Steel Mage, watching rip clips today. So, yeah, that's where that ended up. It's kind of sad I didn't do as well as I had hoped. I really wanted to do it on the Coscara Toxic Rain Totems build. But let me look at this character. Dead Ranger Dreams. So I never fully got the character finished in any of my practice attempts. So the idea was to have this character died to the Kitava boss in a blighted map because I had gotten my jewel here to get Chainbreaker, so I ended up changing my amulet, so I lost my buttons. I lost my endurance charge on kill, which was really kind of carrying with the immortal cast when damage taken immortal call. So I'm thinking, okay, I need to farm blighted maps so that I can get an anointment on this amulet. And I swapped up all my gear to get as much mana regen as I could, so I could use the Chainbreaker with Berserk, which he lasts for like a decent amount. And I also dropped my Vitality. Like, I moved my Flame Dash out of my second wind setup and dropped my Vitality so I could keep Flame Dash in. I also really prefer Dash over Flame Dash, but just for the Gauntlet, Flame Dash, it's much cleaner. You have much more control over where you're moving than you do with Dash. I had to put this life and regenerate mana per second to like cover my mana cost. Like the beef of the build came in with the these totems here. Like I never pushed down here and got the totem nodes. The whole idea behind this build was I was going to get the anoint that's right here. I don't know if I have. Let me open up Path of Building so I can show this node. I was going to get Chainbreaker, and then I was going to try and farm a gold oil so that I could get this node here, Hardened Scars, and you could have Fortified during effect of any life flask. And then I was going to switch to a hybrid life flask, which I had like a decent. I'm not going to swap back over, but I was storing hybrid life flasks in a stash tab, and then like putting the flask enchants on them from Harvest, just like storing bunches of them up. So I'd have lots of flasks to work with. And what ends up happening here is the Toxic Rain Totems without the Rage. If I take out the Jewel here, I don't lose my Rage. Okay, it's going. So I think it's like 0.86 attacks per second on the totems. Just drain it pretty quickly. Okay, so yeah, 0.86 attack time. So when I put this in here, right, and the Rage builds up, the attack time lowers on the Toxic Rain Totems, and then when I press Berserk, like, it drops it even more. So I got huge extra attack bonus on this. It actually makes the Toxic Rain Totems pretty insane. So if I was able to have Fortify with the Life Flask, with like duration, and I'm gaining Life Flask charges. But the thing is, I noticed like it wasn't super good for clear. Like it could do really well in rituals. Oh yeah, like this is what happens with Berserk up. Like is toxic rain going all over the place. So the eventual plan was to boss using almost purely Toxic Rain Totems. I was going to get the other thing down here. Purely using Toxic Rain Totems with Berserk and Fortify on Life Flask with increased Life Flask duration. And yeah, that was my plan. I never got to see it in action. So once I got this jewel, I was really excited to see, okay, I'm going to make the Chainbreaker. I did like 4 maps, and then I wanted to farm. I did 1 blighted map, and it was fine. Just second blighted map died to the Kitava with LMP. It just destroys everything. And yeah, at that point, that was pretty much it. So I did make a video like prior to the league going over the rules and the prizing format. At first, I was kind of sad to see that only the top of each class was going to get prize money and the top 5 overall, which is top 5 here. Which it is amazing to me that Darkies still managed to get a top 5 placement, dying here at 123 to Uber Atziri, and then like his other one is up here somewhere. I think like it's just insane how much work that guy put in. Like I felt like right here, like 23 overall. Absolutely nuts. Like I feel like I went kind of crazy. Um, going the 4 times I did 4 characters over 80. So I only got one over 90. It's what it is, though. It was a lot of fun. I really pushed myself harder than I ever have in these. All of my deaths were on me. This one really sucked, dying to the Baron Slam. I blame my mouse a little bit more for that one, but no like disconnect deaths or anything crazy. So I'm sad I didn't get to push it further. I absolutely kind of hated playing Scion with this build, even though I was like really pushing the totems. And like totems, they did damage. They destroyed bosses, just like they're supposed to. It ended up going with an additional curse here, and then cursing stuff with Bane with Enfeeble and Despair. So I was like getting extra like damage reduction on stuff with Enfeeble, which was pretty cool. Without having to move all the way up here. For damage, I could have gone with went with vulnerability. It's 90% increased damage taken enemies in life, so it's basically Culling Strike for a dot build. If you curse with vulnerability in addition to despair, but it kind of stacks with Wither as well. But yeah, that was my experience with the Gauntlet. I'm gonna try it again. I absolutely love playing Caustic Arrow. I love playing Raider. I'll probably try it. I wanted to pull it off with Caustic Arrow. I'll probably try it again next time, unless I come up with a different build that's more suited to me. But yeah, that was my Gauntlet. So what's next for me is I still have challenges. No, I'm not in the league. Let me swap over to my actual Ritual character. So I've got 2 level 100 characters in Ritual. I wound up being rank 1 Raider and rank 1 Berserker. That's all I did push early league. So I might make build guides on these characters. This character, I pushed Caustic Arrow to the limit. Like, you're not getting a better bow than this. I mean, it needs attack speed. I could farm for an augment speed before Harvest gets nerfed into the ground to give this some attack speed. But like Raider needs this speed. But I never used Toxic Rain. I liked using the Wither Totems, and then I would swap in slower projectiles for Arrow Nova for single target, which is almost a million on the tooltip DPS. So that's pretty nuts. And here I have the Bane with Despair and Punishment. Yeah, Punishment's what I meant, not Vulnerability. 90% increased damage while in low life. So I might make build guides on these. I need to finish challenges, at least get to 36. Oh, it's a hideout. Okay, I might not. I actually might not. I don't care, about this hideout. This is the only hideout I need. I love this hideout. Best $20 I spent in this game was on this hideout. So I might make build guides on these characters, but I'm probably going to play some more variety stuff. I'm going to attempt to stream with the CenturyLink, or not CenturyLink, that's the old internet, with the Starlink internet again, which it's held up through the making of this video. Latency's been okay. They had 2 rocket launches last week, so yeah. So yeah, I'll make build guides for these characters. Kind of go over my thoughts on Ritual League and the new changes. Now that the league is settled in, and I've had a chance to play a lot around with everything. Long big story. These Parantis nodes with full Parantis investment sucks. Big time sucks. I actually did. I'll cover that in another video. The $150 that I'm gonna get for killing the Atziri, I'm probably gonna get the Caustic Arrow MTX, because I have no points left over. So I'll probably get the Caustic Arrow MTX if I'm gonna play this build for like further than the like 6 straight months I've played Costa Hero. So we'll give it MTX for that for next league. But then I'm probably going to, like, I spent like 6 or 7 hours just like cycling through Steam. What are they called? Like the discovery things. I stumbled across this game called Chronicon. I was going to play like spend some of the money on Factorio, maybe just something to kind of dive into. I only wanted to buy like one game. And I stumbled across this game called Chronicon. This game it's top down. It looks like it's a point and click. Based where the mouse is placed here. It's probably going to move a lot like PoE. It's also released on my birthday, which is cool. And then I scroll down to this review here. This review says a fun action RPG with great level of character customization, but it's way more chaotic than anything else in the genre I've played. You charge into groups of literally hundreds of enemies, chaining kills, dodging projectiles as everything explodes into a shower of pixels. I wasn't expecting a bullet hell game, but it's partly what this game is. I read that, and I was like, that is like PoE. Like, just kind of going back up to this video here. Like, it looks as crazy and chaotic as, like, Path of Exile is. And, like, a lot of people are, like, toying with, like, Terraria, Last Epoch, stuff. I really don't want to mess with Last Epoch until it's in a more finished state. But yeah, like I think I'm gonna mess around with this. So I want to invest in a mic stand. I'm gonna buy this game, probably. I'm pretty set on it at this point. I need a mic stand so there's no more of this Flask nonsense going on, like kind of live record stuff. And then the rest of the money is going into Adobe Premiere for as long as I can have it. I'm going to work on video editing and trying to get more stuff up because all the way back to Delirium League, like what started me like energizing me about trying to make build guides and stuff was I scripted them. I wrote the whole script, I recorded it all, and then I recorded the video to go with the script, and then I edited the video together. And I like what came to me as probably the most like well put together build guides that I've seen on YouTube. So I would really like to get back to that when I like try and go over this build's insane. This like I wanted to push Costa Hero to its max, and like the gear is about as good as it gets, all the way up to the elevated chaos up there. Even got chaos damage on the like it's bonkers what I've done with this build. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me. Violent League was fun. Big thanks again to Zizarin and his team for putting this on. I know it's a lot of work. Allow me to make some money. I haven't made any kind of money in so long, so it's excited. I'm excited to be able to invest something more into what I'm doing here. So thanks for watching, and hope to see you soon. Bye. Oh yeah, something else that I've been doing over the last few days. I've been staring at this auto battler thing that I found. It was like a free-to-play game on Steam. Just been a thing that's been constantly going on my computer for the last day and a half. But I've had a little bit of fun with this, although I've pretty much gotten to the point where it's just all automated at this point. Anyways.